Hello class. Welcome to the online class of social science. Today I am going to start the third chapter of geography, that is latitude and longitude, with you all. So let us begin. The most convincing proof about the shape of the earth has been given by the photographs taken by the astronauts and the obtaining satellites. The shape of the earth is like a sphere, but the actual measurement proved that the earth is not a perfect shape. The earth is slightly bulging at the equator and flattened at the pole. Thus, the polar diameter of the earth is 44 kilometers, shorter than that of the equatorial diameter. But for all these practical purposes, we consider the shape of the earth as a sphere or like a ball. It is easy to locate a place on a flat surface with reference to another place, since spherical objects like the earth neither have any corners nor sides, nor top and no bottom. It is difficult to locate a place on it. Every point on a ball is like any other point. Therefore, in order to know the location and direction of a place on the surface of the earth, we have to develop some method or technique. We have to evolve or find certain points or lines which can be used as a reference of location, places on, so that we can locate places on earth. The rotation on its axis, which is imaginary, the endpoints of the axis of the earth are called the poles. The poles which points towards the pole star is called the North Pole. The other is the South Pole. The two poles can be used as two fixed points. We can divide the earth into two equal parts by drawing an imaginary line midway between the North Pole and the South Pole. This line is a circle and we call it equator. The part of the earth which is towards the north of the equator is called the northern hemisphere. The part of the earth which is towards the south of the equator is known as the southern hemisphere. Now the lines, parallels and meridians, that means they are the coordinates of the geography. The globe, which is a true representation of the earth, has two sets of circles. In one set, the circle run from west to east and are parallel to the equator. These are called the parallels. In the second set, the circle run from north to south and pass through the North Pole and the South Pole. Half of this circle between the North Pole and the South Pole is called the meridians. Let us see what kind of features do we have for these parallels and the meridians. The parallels and the meridians can be used to define the location and the directions of a place on the globe or on the map. The parallels and the meridians intersect each other at right angle. The network of parallels and meridians on the globe is called the Earth's grid or the geographical grid. Now let me explain you about the parallels or latitudes. We can draw a set of circles between the North Pole and the South Pole. These circles should be parallels to the equator. These circles are parallel or lines of latitudes. The distance of a place north or south of the equator is measured as an angle. This angle is the latitude of the place. The latitude of that place is the distance of the place north and south of the equator, measured as an angle whose vertex is at the center of the earth. The latitude of a place is always expressed in degrees. There are 360 degrees in a circle, 60 minutes in the degrees and 60 seconds in the minute. The equator is taken as the starting and thus marked as 0 degree latitude. The North Pole and the South Pole is marked as to be the 90 degrees north and 90 degrees south respectively. The parallels are drawn at an interval of 1 degree. Thus, there are 90 parallels in the northern hemisphere and 90 parallels in the southern hemisphere. Hence, including the equator, there are 181 lines. Now, can you see Earth is sliced in parallels and how they are mentioned in degrees, in 10 degree intervals, like 10 degree, 20 degree, and each side we mention it as 10 degree north, 10 degree, 20 degree north, or 10 degree south and 20 degree south. This is how we mention the equator, and this is how we can segregate the latitude in different lines. Now the features of the latitude, that is, they are known as parallels. They run east-west directions. Measure distance north and south from the equator. That means when we say 10 degree north, 10 degrees south. We don't say, although the line runs from east to west, but when we measure, we say north degree and south degree. Means 10 degree north and 10 degree south. This way we represent latitudinal line. These lines are parallels to one another and never meet at any point. Cross the prime meridian, the right angle. More on the that is what cross the prime meridian. They form a right angle. When these lines cross the prime meridian, each time they form a right angle. Lie in the plane that cross the Earth's axis at right angle. Even the axis, when they cross, they form a right angle. Get shorter towards the pole with the equator as the largest circle. Equator being the largest circle, and it crosses and when it reaches towards the pole, it just left over with a dot. As equator is the largest circle, it is known as to be the great circle. Why? Because it also cuts the earth, or you can say, or divides the earth into two equal halves, so as like the other lines of longitude, which each and every time cuts the line into two equal halves, is known as to be the great circles. And other line which does not cut the lines into or earth into two equal halves are known as to be the small circles. Now most important latitudinal lines. They are what? They are equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, North Pole and South Pole. All these are important. Why? Because they are segregated according to the zone. Because as this line, if we cross this line, we'll reach to different zones of the earth, different heat zones of the earth. It's better to say different heat zones of the earth. We will reach to different heat zones. What are their degrees? Equator we all know 0 degree. Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn is 23.5 degree north and south respectively. Tropic of Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle is 66.5 degree north and south respectively. As I said, it divides into heat zones. Now all part of the earth do not receive the same amount of heat from the sun. The above important parallels help us to divide the earth into heat zones. First one what? First one is the torrid zone, then the temperate zone, then the frigid zone. So those important lines divide the earth into different zones or heat zones. Now first one, the fact that the earth is spherical in shape results in different parts of the earth getting heated differently. Based on the heat received from the sun, the earth is divided into 3 heat zones. Number 1, torrid. In torrid zone what happened? This region received the direct vertical rays of the sun for almost the whole year. It lies between the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north, and the Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23.5 degrees south. It covers 39.78% of the Earth's surface. It is known as to be the tropic zone, or we can say that it is the most widened part of the heat zones. Then after that we come to the temperate zone. It lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle, and Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle, each covering 25.99% of the Earth's surface. It experiences moderate temperatures. That means temperature are not very cold and not very hot. Last, we come to the frigid zone. We all know that pole areas are mostly cold. So frigid zone. The frigid zone lie between the Arctic Circle and the North Pole, and between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole. This zone is also as the known as the polar region. Since it receives the extreme slanting rays of the sun, the temperature is extremely low throughout the year. This is the reason why the polar regions are generally covered with ice. That is the reason why they don't get so much of heat. That is the reason why this polar region remain cold for the 6 months and then remains as night for the 6 months and light for the 6 months. Now let us come to the longitudinal part. Meridians. They are also known as meridians. The equator is used as a line of reference for locating places in the north and south directions. We can draw a set of lines joining North Pole to the South Pole. These lines are called the meridians or the lines of longitude. In 1884, some countries mutually agreed to fix Greenwich, a place few kilometers east of London in UK, as the starting point for the meridians. The meridians which passes through the Greenwich was taken as the prime meridian. So as we can see that Greenwich is here, that point is taken to be the 0 degree latitude, 0 degree longitude. Now let us see how we can measure the distance in the longitude. The distance of a place east or west of the meridian is measured as an angle. This angle is the longitude of that place. The longitude of a place is the distance of the place east or west of the prime meridian, measured as an angle whose vertex is at the center of the earth. The prime meridian as the starting meridian is marked as 0 degree longitude. There are 180 meridians towards the east and 180 meridians towards the west. Now altogether they are forming 2 hemispheres, that is the eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere. Now combining eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere, there are altogether 360 lines. There are 360 lines because one we are considering as 0 degree. Now the meridians of lines of longitude have some following characteristics. What are they? Now first of all, they are known as the meridians. They run north and south of the directions, measure the distance east and west of the prime meridian. So as we know in the longitudinal part that the line runs from north to south, but they measure the direction in east and west. Whenever we write these degrees, like 10 degree east and 10 degree west, whenever we say 10 degree east and west, there we can understand we are mentioning the longitudinal line. Now farthest apart from the equator and meet at the poles. They cross the equator and form a right angle and join to the poles. Lie in planes that passes through the Earth's axis. They are all equal length. Like in latitude, equator is larger and the other are smaller, but here they all are of same length. Are halves of the great circle. Now if you say a great circle is cutting the earth into two equal halves, so each and every longitudinal line is a half circle, or each and every longitudinal line is a great circle, because each and every longitudinal line is cutting the earth into two equal halves. Let us come to the international dateline. What is international dateline? In the longitudinal part only, we will come to the international dateline, which is one of the most important line in longitude. International dateline is an imaginary line on the surface of the earth that runs from the north to the south pole and demarcates one calendar day from the next. It passes through the middle of the Pacific Ocean, roughly following the 180 degree longitude. That means just opposite the 0 degree longitude. But it deviates to pass around some territories and island groups. The international dateline is on the opposite side of the prime meridian. Just the opposite side of the prime meridian, and it is not particularly a half line. You can say it is although an imaginary line, but it passes calculating all the or taking all the single territory in one side. Let us see in the next thing, that is international dateline. See how it has been, it is a zigzag line, how it is drawn in a zigzag way, just to take those territory, not to cut those territory in the time zone, in the different time zone, although to take the territory in one single time zone. Immediately to the left of the international dateline, the date is always one day ahead of the date. Or immediately right of the international dateline in the western hemisphere, it is one day less. It is not a perfectly straight line and has moved slightly over the years to accommodate needs of varied countries in the Pacific Ocean. Islands and small countries were there present beside and behind Pacific Ocean. Over there they have to make the line as zigzag, so that there is no problem with the timing in the same country. Time zones. What is time zones? Time zones are defined by dividing the 360 degree of the earthly sphere into 24 hours of the day. As a result, each time zone corresponds to 15 degree of the Earth's circumference and is the equivalent of 1 hour. That means whenever you are crossing every 15 degree, that means 1 hour if you are going towards the east, you are 1 hour ahead, and if you are going towards the west, it is 1 hour less. Every 15 degree. If you cross from 1 degree to 15 degree, that means 1 hour has passed. This is how there are many big countries which have been segregated into time zones, so that no confusion remains about times. Now let us tell you about the standard and local time. What is the difference between a standard and a local time? I would like to tell you that standard time is that time when a country is larger, they will have different time zone. Although they will have different time zones, but they will have a special line that will be calculating a particular time for the total time zones, or we can say that standard time will calculate a particular time for the whole country. Like India, the Indian standard time is 83.5 degree north. It passes through Mirzapur in Allahabad, and it whatever time is having we are having over there, the particular that time only we will be having throughout India. That is known as to be the standard time. Maybe the rise and set of the sun, in sunrise and sunset may differ, but the time remains the same. So what is standard time? The time of the standard meridian of a country is known as to be the standard time. We take the middle point of a country or the time zones and make it a standard time. Every country has its own particular standard time, and it remains the same for the whole country. As I say, as I have given you the example of India, it remains the same for the whole country. Places on the same longitude can often have varying standard time. Why having same longitude but still they are having varying? Because they are divided into time zones. Now come to the local time. Now wherever you are there, that particular place, whichever longitude is passing through, that particular time is known as to be the local time. So local time refers to time at a particular place, that is the time when the midday sun is directly overhead. Different places in the same country have their own local times. As I said, the sunset and sunrise of a place may differ. By that thing we can say that our local time is differing. But no, the local times remains the same, but the variation of daylight and night may differ. Okay, so this is how we calculate the timing. Places on the longitude always have the same local time. That is, same longitude will have same local time. By this, almost I have come to the end of this chapter. So let us see about what differences and what similarities this longitude and latitudinal line is having. Longitudes are drawn from north to south, while latitudes run from east to west. That means we draw latitudinal line from east to west and draw longitudinal line from north to south. But they denotes what? Latitudinal line denotes north and south, whereas longitudinal line denotes east and west. Longitudes are called meridians, while latitudes are called parallels. Longitudes have equal length, while latitudes have different lengths. All longitudinal lines are same, whereas the latitudinal lines varies, like equator is the great circle and others are the small circles. Meridians converge at the poles, but parallels never meet. That means meridians means longitudinal line. They obviously meet at poles, we all know that. And the parallels are the latitudinal line. They all keep on, means they don't meet each other. They never meet each other. The reference point of the longitudinal line is Greenwich meridian, while the latitudinal line is equator. We all know that prime meridian or the Greenwich meridian is known as to be the longitudinal reference, and equator is the latitudinal reference. Now let us see and one more point I would like to add, that is, with the longitudinal line we can calculate time, whereas with the latitudinal line we can see the heat zones, or we can make a difference in the heat zones. Now let us see the similarities. What kind of similarities these two lines are having? First of all, both are imaginary lines. No such lines are there on the earth or on the means we have not seen in the pictures, on the pictures of the earth, that no such lines are there. They are really imaginary. Both are measured in degrees, maybe north, south, east, west, but both all are measured in degrees. Both are used in locating places. Yes, each and every time latitude and longitude are used to locate places, and both contains great circles, whether one or many, but both contains great circles. So this is how I come to the end of this chapter, and hope to meet you all in near future. As long as the pandemic is there, please stay home and stay safe. Thank you, class.